when every post you do get over 1,000 replies, maybe 2,000 replies, it gets 200k views, 500k views,
Mm.
shit like this, your ego is going to grow as well as yeah, everything else. So when you get on that high horse, it's okay to get like thrown off because and you just get the humility again, and you see things in another perspective.
Okay, super excited about this. The first hero story journey with my good friend Valdo, my first guest. Valdo is an AI expert, really big on X, 40,000 people, even a bit more, master of giveaway. And I'm super excited to talk about how does he run his business, who is Valdo, and everything in between. So, without further ado, who is Valdo?
Appreciate it, brother, and thanks for having me on as your first guest. It's really an honor. What an amazing question to start off with. Who am I? My name is Valdo. I've been on X as an AI expert and digital product creator for the past 2 years now, building my audience, also learning a whole lot about myself and how to build a business and so forth, because it's really my first real business. I have tried to create other businesses in the past that didn't work out, but now I'm finally feeling like I'm onto something here. I will not like say I'm quite there yet where I want to be, but yeah, I'm just, when you ask me who I am, I'm just a person like everybody else, just a guy trying to figure out life, trying to figure out how to have my own freedom and escape the 9 to 5 grind. And I feel like I've done that through this business, but still just figuring out how it all works, how to live life, and everything in between. So yeah,
I love
but
that.
yeah, yeah, an honor to be here, and I'm excited about the questions you got.
Honor to have you, brother. Yeah. So my next question is actually very simple, and it's well, simple but not easy. What is your defining moment, your hero story? When is this one moment that you can point in the past that
Mm.
actually started you on this journey of personal development that you just mentioned, of wanting something more, wanting your own business, chasing freedom? I think we are all chasing freedom at the end of the day here.
Yes. So, okay, let's rewind time back around 2 years ago. I was working in a culture center, like a 9 to 5 job, really corporate. However, the jobs that I did there was picking up garbage, putting out like chairs for conferences and for music events and stuff, and really had a shitty boss, shitty colleagues, just no future, no ambition, no nothing on their side. But in my heart, I always had this dream to build my own business, right? But I didn't know where to start, how it was going to work out. But I had this dream, right? And this job was just nagging me. And it was right when the COVID also was there, was present, and it was also right there with where people were getting vaccines and shit. It was completely against what I stand for, everything. Then one day, my boss, he comes to me, like he pulls up on me in this little golf cart, and he is like, Valdo, Valdo, show me your vaccine pass and shit and all this. And I was like, I don't have one, bro. I'm not going to get one, and I'm going to not give a fuck about what you have to say about this. So I really just stand in my truth at that moment. And he fired my ass 2 days later. He didn't say nothing. He was like, "Oh, everybody else does this, and you have to be like them," and all that. But I could not stand for that. So he fired my ass 2 days later, and I was jobless, living in my own apartment, paying around 2K a month to live there. So pretty expensive for a guy with no job, right?
Pretty expensive indeed.
Yes, I was fortunate enough to have 2 months of fully paid on their side because they fired me. Um, However, then I got into contact with some of you may know him with Pascal, also known as creator Pascal. We started speaking as just friends. We are both from Denmark, and he introduced like ChatGPT for me. It was back when it was just beginning to get some hype, and we just played around with it, had some fun, made some song texts, and just some silly shit. We was just messing around. Um, but then we started advancing in using ChatGPT, and our friendship developed. And he had his thing going for him, and I really had nothing at that point. Like no, I wasn't on X at the time, and then he convinced me to create a profile, and he was like, "What if you became Valdo, the AI guy?" And to start off, I was like, "Fuck no, I'm not going to do that shit. I'm not no AI guy. I'm no expert in this." But then the thoughts was like lingering in my mind that this could be the chance that I was like praying and hoping to get. So I created the profile. I started to learn more deeply about ChatGPT and AI, and just study it a whole lot. And then I just went along to do my first product, which is still present and available on my Gumroad, which is the landing page Prodigy prompt pack that I have on there. I don't remember how many prompts uh, and videos I put in that one. However, that was my first like giveaway product that I made for X. And oh, I left an important thing out. This was right when people were starting to do giveaway posts on X, and that was becoming a thing. And he introduced that to me because he was doing it himself with great success. So he was like, "What do you have to lose, Valdo? Just give it a try." And I was like, "Cool, all right, I think I can do this." Okay, I've been learning a bit about AI, and I feel like confident that this could work. So I put together this pack and just launched it as a giveaway, like a freebie. So just reply, I don't know what I said, but reply this emoji and you get pack, so on and so forth. And there was like 100K views on the first one that I ever did. I had like 0 followers, or like 200 followers at that point, or something like that, because he helped me out a bit in the beginning. But it went to go over 100K views, and I have listed it on my Gumroad. And it was also where I got my first sales. I don't know. I wish I remembered the very first one. I don't, but it has probably been some small $5, $1 donation, something like that. And I was like, holy shit, this works. I can actually make money from doing this. Not a whole lot to begin with, but then I just kept on, like just chopping wood and carrying water, going deeper into learning about AI, developing more new products, which is present on my Gumroad. If you go check it out, you can go check it out.
It's going to be
How
linked in the description.
Yeah. Thanks, brother. So I just kept on going for more and just developing new products all the time, staying consistent with the giveaway posting, and somehow, some way, I just built an audience really quick, and people was very excited about this. This was when OpenAI um, like started to get hype around their Chat GPT, their first like versions of it. And yeah, uh, am I going off tantrum right now?
No, bro, this is open conversation. Just to
Okay,
recap what I'm
awesome.
hearing from you, you lost your job, you didn't know what to do, you started playing with ChatGPT, first
Yes.
just as a fun, but then it led to a $5 product, $5 sale, and then it led you to where you are today. You mentioned a lot of really interesting stuff. I don't know in which to deep dive first, but let's maybe deep dive first into the giveaways you mentioned. Because as far as
Yes.
I understand, this was your main strategy to grow from 0 to 40,000 on X where you are today.
Yes. Yes. This has been my main thing, and it still is, and it's still a strategy that I used. Of course, it has been evolving throughout these past 2 years, and the game is always changing. So it's also about adapting, but also like being a first mover and like coming up with new shit before everyone else. So I was fortunate enough to be a part of changing that game in terms of the giveaways and the way you see people do it when you're on X or on Twitter in your feed. So yeah, it's really about thinking, allowing yourself to think in new ways and just sometimes test shit out. Sometimes it sticks, sometimes it doesn't. But my way has just been staying consistent with this one thing that I know works.
That's a good point because in this shiny object world, you can get distracted
Mhm.
very, very fast.
Yes.
And what would you say to somebody who never tried a giveaway and they want to start a giveaway now? Should they go about it? What are the important things? You already mentioned it needs to be different,
Hmm.
but how would they go practically from start to finish? They have a product, they want to give it out, they don't know what to do.
Yes. So both you and I've seen recently have a lot of copycats, right? A lot of people just straight up copy pasting our text,
Even
our
the
hooks,
product.
even the products, even the photos that we use as a thumbnail. So don't be that guy, don't be that girl to just completely control C, control V, everything from other creators. It's all right to steal in that sense. However, you have to flip it. Like a musician would take a sample from a song that they really really like, but then find parts
Mhm.
of it that they like the most, then flip it and twist it so it gets their sound, so it gets your sound. If you want to create this giveaway, be different also, and use your own photos. Don't steal other people's photos. Don't steal other people's hooks. Get inspired and flip it and twist it so it becomes your own. That way you're going to stand out. You're not going to sound like everybody else. And that way you can like see success with this method. Otherwise, it would just, maybe you get lucky one day and 300-400 comments, or what do I know, you get on one post, but it's not going to stick in the long term. People are going to take notice of you just copying everybody else. So be original would be my advice.
No, that's a very good advice, especially because when you find a giveaway format that works, it works for a while, but because people start using it so broadly, it just stops working. And then if
Yes,
you don't have a repertoire of or like a system to find your own giveaways, you're always going to be the second follower. One thing I wanted to touch upon, you mentioned giveaways, and one thing that came to mind for me is giveaways are you try and you fail, and you need to be prepared for the failure.
yes.
How important do you think failure in general is, being accepting failure in general is when it comes to building your own digital business?
It is very important because this way you are going to learn a lot about yourself, how to handle when you fail, also like on an emotional level and on a spiritual level in a sense. However, it also gives you insight to what works and what you have to just leave. So it gives you insight into how to get success in the end. So you need those failures. You need to have the giveaway posts up that only get 20 replies, and you just think, shit, man, what am I doing with my life? You need to go through that, really, in my eyes. And it's what I've done because in the beginning, as I mentioned, my first post, it was shit. Like the hook was like lame. Everything about it was not very interesting. However, it worked somehow because it had the hype it had. Just one sec. It had the hype it had at the time, Chat GPT and everything. So I was just writing on pure luck in the beginning, in a sense. It was also hard work and dedication, but a lot of it was also due to luck. And then you start riding on a high horse, right? When every post you do get over 1,000 replies, maybe 2,000 replies, it gets 200K views, 500K views,
Mm.
shit like this, your ego is going to grow as well as yeah, everything else. So when you get on that high horse, it's okay to get like thrown off because and you just get the humility again, and you see things in another perspective. Like you get grounded by failing. You know, it keeps you on the ground. Because I was riding a very high horse at one point when I was just beginning, and then when I see more and more sales coming in, when I also built some of my bigger products that I have, for example, what have evolved into be the AI Plus Bundle 2.0. It was called the Platinum Bundle in the beginning when I was starting to sell that around 100, or I think 350. I had it in the beginning, the pricing, and I was just seeing those sales coming in consistently, and I was just starting out. I could suddenly pay my own rent. I didn't need anybody. I suddenly had the freedom, and when it goes fast, and you are not rooted yet, you need to fail to get like rerouted with your mission, or in on your path, yeah, and as a person.
Aho, brother. One thing I respect with you, now we have a little bit of back and forth, jumping on these calls, masterminding together. One thing
Yes.
really I respect with you is your spiritual approach to business. And
Mm,
the words you're using, you need to be grounded, you need to have humility, ego, and so on. And I think this is lacking a lot of times. Today, people just want fast cash, but they don't
yes.
really approach the business the right way. And this brings me to the next question. What was the hardest lesson that you learned in those last 2 years when it comes
Mm.
to business?
And that is a great question too. I really like that. So I wouldn't say this is the hardest lesson that I've learned, but it's a big lesson that I've learned, and I think everybody listening to this can probably relate. But you have to get aware of it. But where you are, and it's gonna sound very very simple, but where you are is where you are, and that like goes for everything. Like the room you're sitting in, there you are. Okay, in your business, with your skills, with your skill set, how you approach things, is there you are. You are not better, you are not less, you are just where you are. I don't know if you get it. But yeah, I think this is a big lesson also when you travel from place to place. And I've been living like from Airbnb to Airbnb, and different vacation homes and so forth, like exploring some of Spain, Dubai, and also here in Denmark. And you have to move around a lot, but where you are is where you are in your whole being, with everything you do. So it also ties in with how you approach one thing is how you approach everything. So there's some yeah, some a red line there. But yeah.
I like that. Sometimes I have obviously we want everything faster and better and stuff. And what when you said this, what resonates a lot with me is maybe life is just giving you something that you need right now. And maybe it's not
Mm,
fast cash. Maybe it's another lesson that it wants to teach you. And
yes.
maybe you get abundance somewhere else. Maybe that be your parents, your friends, your family, but you're not taking that abundance because you're too focused on the business. And then what happens is then life is like, I'm already giving you an abundance, but you're not taking it. So then you don't want this other abundance. So I feel
Mm,
that's also one thing that I try for myself
yes.
to really go back and think about it. Okay, where am I already getting stuff from life and what does life want to teach me? And then usually when I really sit down with myself, then all of the things that I thought were the problems either are not problems or they're resolved very fast after I really sit down with myself. Do you have a
Mm,
similar experience?
yes, yes, I really resonate with that. And sometimes I think the best thing that can happen is you not getting the thing that you think you want.
Yeah.
Because our ego, when you look at the world from the ego or from the person, there's a lot of things that you think you want, but this world is more advanced than that. It understands you better than you understand yourself. So God or the universe, whatever you subscribe to, knows you better than you know yourself. So God knows when to put an obstacle in, and you have to solve it to become a better version of yourself, a stronger version of yourself. And if we get back to like getting rooted again, we need this to have like a strong root to approach things like in a better way than just getting lost in just getting the money or just getting the quick cash, the quick fix, the quick everything. There's no root in that. That is floating with like the wind. Like it's not stable. So we need to be humble sometimes, to get rerouted and not get the things that we want, to eventually get the things that we need, and what we really want deep down inside. And I feel like this is getting into a very spiritual conversation, but
Okay.
I like it. I love it, bro. So yeah.
The first podcast is going to be named Spirituality and
Yes.
if you could go back, would you change anything in the last 2 years?
That's a difficult question because I think I cannot bypass the mistakes and the fuck ups that I did in the past. I needed them to grow my business and my audience to where it is now. But maybe I would have focused a bit more in the detail of, for example, how I'm writing my audience, my emails to my audience. Um, Perhaps also just the way that I interact with customers and with the friends that I have on Twitter, being better at networking, perhaps because I like to isolate myself a lot and be like the loner guy going my own, like the lone wolf going my own path, but being better at, for example, getting on calls with you, getting on calls with Pascal's different creators. And also one, I know you are going to ask me this later, but for an interesting creator to come on here next or at some point, I have a really good one for you, a really interesting character. But yeah, networking would be one of them, and how I approach my email writing. Also, some of my product developments has gotten better with time. So, but yeah, it really takes that growth process to get to.
Hmm. And how important you think emails are in today's world on X? Because I still see that a lot of creators have a trouble sending emails out,
Yes.
or overthinking them. And from my experience, and you were following my journey, emails
Mm.
are really the thing where all the connections are built, where all the sales are made, right? Mostly.
Yes, it's a huge key in succeeding in a digital business, um, seen from my eyes, because like around 80% of my sales come from emails only, and the rest is just by random that people find my products or directly from X, like they click my links or something like that. But 80% other than that, it's sales coming from the emails, and also you speak about connections. You get interesting like people that you can talk to in the email as well, and you also get approached with all kinds of offers and interesting people that want to help you grow. So yeah, you're really right on that one. But in terms of overthinking emails, that's never a good thing. Also, when we are getting creative, we often tend to get in our own way. I know this from when I'm doing some graphics, and I also like to do music just in my free time sometimes. It's when you begin thinking about it, you fuck it up.
Mhm.
So it's just like when you get that creative spark, just sit down and write, see what comes out of it. And here AI can be a great help as well to get inspired and to correct some of your grammar. So don't be like shy just putting words on the page. You can always correct it later, tweak it, but overthinking just kills your process. So just start writing when you get the spark and don't force it.
Yeah, I agree with you. And also with AI, AI is an incredible intern, but it's unfortunately not a director or an editor yet. So, like what you said, you can use AI to spark ideas, to get the going, to start the
Mm.
momentum, and then it's much easier to actually do the stuff you want to do. And funny enough, it's funny that you mentioned AI because my next question, which I wanted to ask you, is how do you use AI in your business? I know
Mm.
you are obviously an AI expert, so you use it a lot in your products, but also,
Mm.
and we can talk about that, but also how do you use it in your dealing with admin stuff, sending emails, content, wherever you use it? What are the use cases for Valdo?
Yes. So I try to keep a good balance between like staying human,
Hmm.
but also using AI to like help me grow faster and get where I want to be quicker and more efficiently. So I would say I'm huge on automating stuff, like scheduling stuff to come out at the right time. This is already integrated in a lot of the tools that I use, such as Gumroad, also what's it called? Tweet. I just switched it because I had all this type fully. These scheduling tools I use a lot, but also for as we just spoke, for the email writing, but I don't get AI to exactly write my emails. I don't like that because it sounds non-human, it sounds robotic and fake. So I mostly use that to correct me where I'm wrong. And my grammar is not the best. I'm really shit at that normally, so it helps me out a lot there, as well. Of course I use it for building my products too. So I use it for a whole bunch of stuff and also life in general. When I have deep questions or I have something that I want to fix or like learn about, I use AI to do a lot of research, a lot of learning too. So yeah, for all kinds of different purposes.
Hmm. I love that. I love that. It's funny, a lot of time you hear people like AI is shit, but then they're still using so many of these scheduling tools and Grammarly's and Hemingway and really utilizing their AI features all across the board. And
Hmm.
I completely resonate with you. I also use it in many aspects of my business. I don't write usually content, but I do. It does help me generate the ideas, brainstorm, market research.
Yes.
And sometimes even structure some of the content. If I have a email and I just want to put it in a long form post, the only thing I need to change is the hook and the format. And AI is really good
Hmm.
following those directions. If we flip the script now, Valdo, a little bit, and we put your teaching hat on, um,
Mm-hmm.
what advice would you give to someone that wants to start but has these limiting beliefs? It's too late, the market is saturated, I will never build the audience, or whatever. We hear a lot of them. What
Hmm.
would your advice be to people who are thinking of starting?
Okay, so what in this business or in this business model and a lot of also almost in any like niche or other kind of business, what separates the winners from the losers, and this is going to sound so fucking basic, but it's the consistency. People don't stick around long enough to see success. Maybe they start like a profile on X, start doing giveaways, but then they don't see success right away and they just quit. They just go on to the next shiny object thing that they think will give them some quick cash or whatever it is. However, what has worked for me, it just sticking with one thing. I was lucky enough to see success fairly quick, so I saw that it worked. So I just sticked with that one thing. Um, but my advice would really be to like test things out, have a few like hooks in the water, so to speak. But when you catch that on that one line, just stick with that and see where it takes you. be consistent. It's not like a race, it's a long-term game. So yeah, you have to be persistent with what you want.
Mm. I love that because you kind of figure out after you are in this game for a while, it's not that the best people win, it's the people who stay in the game the longest.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a great point. Because it's not about being the smartest. I am certainly not the smartest guy you will ever get to meet,
Likewise.
or the in any area. I'm just very fucking consistent with what I do, and you are able to do exactly the same. It's so fucking cliche, but it's cliche for a reason, and it's because it's true. It's not the smartest cat who wins. It's the one who go like the extra mile and just keeps at it and keeps going.
Would you say that consistency is the most important skill you can have as a content creator?
Also, the quality of the content that you deliver, because I know this one girl, and she is completely consistent in everything she does. She is very consistent, but I see her quality could be a lot better. And I think if she was just to improve that and make her graphics better and so on and so forth, her text better, she could go a lot further because she is consistent, but there's still something lacking there, like quality wise. Because if you're just consistent with the wrong thing, or just having bad quality in general that you just keep posting and it's not working, you are not going to go very far. You're not going anywhere. So you also have to like get a sense of direction in terms of the things that you deliver. But uh, I would say quantity over perfection. Like, don't get stuck in perfection neither. So it's really a balance thing, like with everything in life. So, but you have to get a good balance between consistency and quality.
So to sum it up, consistently doing the right things. That's what you're saying.
Yes, yes. Try the best as you can, but don't overthink it neither. Don't be perfect with it. That's one of my problems. I get too perfect sometimes.
Yeah.
With the things that I do, too perfectionist. But I've learned in this business to overcome that better. I will not say I'm entirely there, but in terms of doing the giveaway posting and keeping the quality up on the products and so on and so forth, I will say I've come a long way.
Mm. Mm. And when you're talking about not being a perfectionist, because a lot of times I see it with myself first that this perfectionism might be even procrastination. It's just, oh, I need to do
Mm,
more, I need another certificate, I need this and that, and then what I'm doing is I'm just not launching. And one thing that is connected to me with this came to mind, it's pricing. Because what I see a lot of creators, they start and then they're underpricing themselves. So
mm,
selling $1 to $2 products, which is great, but first there is a sea of $1 to $2 products, and people needs to still take their cards out. Versus when you're selling, really spend time, make quality, and selling a $50 to $100 products,
mm.
maybe you get less sales, but even just by price comparison, it immediately has a higher quality. How do you
Yes.
go about pricing your products?
It's very differently now. I'm sticking to one pricing model from all my products mostly. The like general prompt packs and mastery courses that I have, and I just set it at the same pricing point. And then I have my more exclusive version, which is the AI Plus bundle, and it's normally going for 350. However, I can disclose that I have had sales on it in the past. And if you're smart enough, you will be able to find like discounts for it. However, I'm trying to keep the value high and also the price at the same point for the most part. Um, yeah, so I'm not a fan of like going completely cheap because I've tried to do that in the past, and yeah, it works. You get some sales, but not the kind of sales that you are looking to get. And when you have a higher pricing point, you don't need to get as many sales, as many people to take their card out. when you have higher prices, because then you only need a few to like meet the goals that you are looking to hit. So it's better to keep your quality up and your pricing as well, and don't undervalue yourself, but at the same time, don't overvalue yourself, because I've also tried to go way too expensive on my products in terms of what they what they deliver. So you have to find balance in value and also perceived value, like the way the customer will see it. It's going to be different, but we can agree. Like for example, a can of milk is the price the way it is in terms of the value that it gives you. You cannot price a can of milk like for $100 unless there is only a few of them.
Mhm.
So it's also using things such as a limited supply, or using timers, and like doing sales if you want to do sales for your products that are limited, and then closing.
I love that. One other thing that came to mind. Do you think that customers who pay more, and not necessarily ridiculous amounts of money, but I'm talking 50 to $100, are better customers than people who pay one?
Mm,
In-
great. Yeah, that's a great question. I appreciate all my customers, whether they give me $1 or they give me 300 or 2,000. I appreciate them all. But the thing that I've spotted is, we have two kinds of customers. We probably have more, but two as I see it. The really cheap one that wants to get everything for free. It doesn't have to cost nothing. They ask me 100 questions to not even buy my product in the end, or maybe they do and then they're disappointed because like it's very differs. And then there is the other customer which I like the most, obviously, because they just spend and trust and see the value in what you got, and they just appreciate it for what it is. They don't like ask a whole lot of questions. If they do, they are usually pretty well thought through, better questions, and they are a whole lot more appreciative. And you can compare this for the abundance vs the what do you call it? The abundance vs scarcity mindset. So some customers just have that abundance mindset, and that is great. But some of them are very scarce, or have that scarcity mindset. um, and then I would mostly like them to not buy my products, because I don't want to hear like shit about it, in that way. So yeah, don't buy my products if you're just living in scarcity and you can't really afford it, and you're just going to complain no matter how good the product is. So yeah, I appreciate like the ones that has the abundance mindset. That's my favorite customers.
Yeah, mine as well. And that's what I was referring to. Because
Yes.
a lot of times the most emails and questions you get from people who gave you $1 for a product and people who gave you $100 for a product, they respect you more. And maybe that's just my what I feel. They say thank you, they come back.
Mm,
When they sometimes they come with the questions, but the questions are not I want more. They're like how help me how to use this better, which is super
yes.
important.
Yes. Yes, I agree. I
Mm.
completely agree, because that's also the customer I am personally myself. I don't spend on anything that I cannot afford. I don't complain about shit. It's my decision to like purchase this. Or when I'm at a restaurant, I'm always very appreciative. Even if it's not that good, I will maybe let them know in a nice way. But it's like a behavior thing also. But it's also a mindset. Think people need to learn nowadays. So yeah, it's just I appreciate customers who who I can like resonate with, or mirror myself in. So yeah,
And actually building a long-term connection with them, right? Because
also
they're not
yeah,
just customers, they are in many aspects, I think we all see them as partners, right? Whereas, like,
yes,
of course, you have a problem, I'm solving your problems, you are solving my problems, which is you're paying me money. But then we both get better off because I'm solving more of your problems and you have more time to focus on things that are actually bringing you money or joy, and maybe it just means time
Mm,
with your family. And because we are already now transitioning back to the spirituality world,
yes.
I want to understand, how do you stay grounded while running a business? Because business, in many aspects, it's a big demand on you, especially when you're starting
Mm.
out. It takes some hours to put in and so on, and things can get repetitive. You need to do the same things over and over again. How do you step back and stay grounded in that?
Okay, so the first thing I do is realize that I am a human first before everything.
Hmm.
Before I interact with any of my family members, my girlfriend, or anybody else, I first have to realize that I have needs, that I have a body that I need to take care of. I have a mind that I need to like garden as well. So, and it's not about being selfish or anything like that. It's just like making sure that your own needs are met before you go out into the world or into your business and try to help everybody out at the same time when you're not if you're not taking care of yourself first. You cannot do that like properly. So I always make sure that I'm good first before going into business. I try to sometimes I just go right in there, but then I remember to take care of myself first before trying to help anybody else. And I will strongly like underline this is not a selfish act. This is an act of self love, and you bring that on into the world when you feel good on the inside and you, for example, go for a run, go to hit the gym, eat the right food. We can get into all these interesting topics that you can do for yourself to improve or feel better on the inside. Me personally, I love to do things as meditation. Sometimes breath work can help a whole lot. Also to stay inspired, stay creative. For example, before writing an email, if you have meditated first or done some breath work, it's a whole lot easier, I experience. Also just going for a walk, getting some fresh air, touch some grass as they would say on Twitter, right?
Step on the
Um,
gas.
touch some freaking grass, hug a tree, all this good stuff. Um, but I like to realize that I'm a human before my business or my business persona, and the thing I identify with there. So I have to be good first, and I've also taken periods off where I'm not doing as much and I'm just automating stuff. So it just my business runs on autopilot, and I have time because I'm very fortunate guy and I'm very grateful that I am in the position I am to have the freedom to just go for a walk whenever, go visit nature, um, study, meditate whenever I want. I'm not tied down by a clock and I'm not tied down by a busy schedule. I try to keep my schedule very open. But that's just the way I am. I know some people like to plan, and I totally get that, and like to have everything like on a strict time schedule. I'm just like very free in that sense, and I like to decide when I'm going to do anything. But of course, things still need to get done. So again, and I can keep mentioning this, but it's a question of balance and priorities as well. But well-being also always will trump business. Like well-being, your health is first, then it's the whatever your priorities is, family, friends, loved ones, and then money, so it's really how you prioritize your life, because you can also just get lost in the money in the business and run yourself completely dry. I have seen that with a lot of other different creators that I speak with, that they just burn out. They just have too much on their plate trying to get everything done all at once, forgetting completely that they have a body, not being grounded, not touching grass, not eating right, just eating shit off of Uber Eats and living like shit, drinking Coca Cola all day, you know, and just burn out because they have too many tasks and not enough care for their own well-being, trying to please every their audience needs, and trying to solve problems. And I totally get that, because it's tempting to go for the money, to just go all in for the business and just lose yourself in that. Um, so business can actually be a distraction from yourself. I know it's for some people this would sound completely crazy, but the business and the money can be a distraction from actually living your life and being present and having well-being. And yeah, I think this is the best answer I can give you at the moment.
It's a beautiful answer, brother. Um,
Thank you.
Something I need to think more after these 4 months of hustle and bustle.
Mm,
Really now, I think great timing, 2024 to 2025,
mm,
rethink the priorities and maybe, yeah, start doing things a little bit differently.
yes.
What are your plans for 2025 in terms of your
Mm.
life, business, any big decisions that you want to take?
Yes, some of them I can disclose here. I really want, because I've been living this Airbnb lifestyle that everybody is praising to the heavens. And it's a great lifestyle, like moving from place to place, seeing different parts of the world and exploring nice locations, all this good stuff, which I really, really love. But at some point, or for me at least, I'm getting tired of consistently just living in a suitcase, just from place to place and from this state to this state, or we have to move. And I've been doing this for around 2 years now. And yeah, I think I need some more stability for myself to feel my best, and for my well-being. So right now I'm looking to move in an apartment, my own apartment, whether I'm buying or I'm just renting, I don't know yet, but I'm just trying to like figure in where the pocket that I fit in there to get some more stability and get better routines. Because when you live this lifestyle, you have to be very disciplined, or else
I agree.
your routines is just gonna slip into the oblivion, and you're going to live in forgetfulness all of a sudden, party too much, go out if you are in nice locations, fancy dinners, drinks. You know the drill. I know you know, Casper. So yeah, I am not no holy Jesus over here, just knowing everything. I've been there, done that multiple times, and not really feeling well inside myself, and not being able to run my business the way I want to run it. So we can fall into distractions, or I can with this lifestyle. So I'm really 25 is going to be the year of stability for me, or and more
I love that.
discipline and routine. Yes, that's what I'm looking for, because I've just been, like I mentioned, living in a suitcase, traveling around in Spain, Dubai. I've also been in Portugal, Amsterdam. I've been on a whole lot of places, and I'm very fortunate and grateful that this business has given me these opportunities to really explore myself, explore the world, have free time on my hands to do whatever the fuck I want. I really love that about building my own business, and yeah, I really, really deeply appreciate that, because in the past I've been working shitty, hard labor jobs, like furniture moving. I've been cleaning tiles, cleaning roofs, painting them as well, taking out garbage, all kinds of shitty stuff that just brought me nowhere. Of course, it gave me some money, it gave me some life experience, built me more into like a man. So I would not say I was born with like a silver spoon up my ass. I have had to work for it and suffer through it, and then yeah, in the end, you still suffer through it. But I think there is more wins, more freedom, and more appreciation and beauty in doing your own thing, like being on your own path, your own mission. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Hmm. I love that. No, that's
Mm,
beautiful. And I think for anybody listening to this, Valdo just shared his story and struggles, and I went through similar stuff and working all these crazy jobs, constructions. I was a cleaning man,
Mhm.
taking out garbage. Um,
Yes,
and I think if you are there, like there is a chance because if Valdo and me could do it, like everybody can do it. Just about
for
consistency.
sure, for sure. Yeah, you just have to cut the distractions away, sit down and really figure out what works for you. What is your lane? Maybe it's not doing the giveaway thing that I'm doing. Maybe you're on a whole other thing, and that's fine. Just just like try to pinpoint where is my niche and just go all in on one thing at a time. Where I fucked up the most was when I tried to delegate everything on all platforms at once. And I think many creators suffer from this because they are on TikTok, Instagram, they are on YouTube as well. They are on every platform on the surface of Earth. And I don't think that's an advantage to be that. I think we have to find the pocket we fit in and just go where the growth is, go where you see the most growth and where it resonates the most.
No, that's a great point. And I think from my observation, this is happening because you're looking to these big name guys and you're thinking, wow, he's on YouTube, he's on Instagram,
Yes,
He's on LinkedIn, but he also has a team of 10 people, right? Or
exactly.
maybe not a team of 10 people because some of them now, if they will watch this, they will say, no, but I'm alone. Okay, they outsource editing, they outsource the thumbnails. Like filming a video is easy. Right now, we probably speak, I don't know, maybe for 45 minutes, an hour. It's a lot of videos we can cut from this, but
Mm-hmm.
cutting them, making the thumbnails, breaking the script
Yes.
takes a long time. So
Yeah.
I agree with you. Focus on one thing, master it, and then move to the next one.
Yes. Definitely. That has what has been working for me. So yeah, I'm just speaking completely from my experience. And one thing also, now you speak on the big gurus, is not to be like let all those big gurus like pull your strings in every direction and oh now you have to do SMMA and now you have to be an investor and now you have to because every time you open, for example, Instagram, people are trying to pull you in all sorts of ways in every direction. And I'm guilty of this myself. I'm trying to pull you in the AI direction, but you have to figure out with yourself, inside yourself, what resonates the most and go with that. Like, again, sticking to one thing, but don't let all these big guru guys pull you in all different directions and making you feel like you're missing out or making you feel like you have to do this or else you've screwed in 2025 or whatnot. But yeah, just stick with what feels right
Hmm.
and not get lost in all this advice and people telling you fucking how to live your life in every way. Like I'm tired of that. I've
Don't
not
chase shiny
following that.
object, guys.
Yeah, I fucking hate that that I'm just getting blasted when I open my phone. Oh, you have to only eat meat, and then the next one, oh, you only have to eat vegetables, and then you should bench press more. Oh no, you should not bench press. You know what I'm saying?
I know what
Like when you get to that point, you have to ask yourself what is right for me, and then when you ask the right questions, answers will come, and yeah, you will know which way to go.
No, I agree. And that was a nice statement, a nice thought. I really
For
resonate with it,
sure. I've been
especially with
pondering that.
all
Yeah.
this crazy information overload that you were just mentioning at the beginning,
Yes.
at the end.
Yeah.
I agree. Last two questions from my end, and you already mentioned one of them before. What's one person from your network you think I should speak with?
So it's kind of a long time since we have spoken together, but I remember, and this has been one of the most interesting calls that I've ever been on, completely off of X and just connecting organically. Was a guy is a guy named Jack Moses, and he is really interesting because he is also deep into the spiritual realm, so to speak, as I am myself, and loves topics like that. We have been discussing both business, personal, like self-discipline stuff, meditation, It was a very interesting call. He's from Chicago, if I remember right, but a really awesome creator that is up and coming. And I think he has around, let me just check really quick, around 20K or 30K followers. Um, at 27. So yeah, he's up and coming, and I see a lot of potential in this guy. He's really really cool. Um, and he's at the moment building Transcendence U. Um, yeah, so really interesting stuff he has. So I can recommend this guy. Try and reach out to him and see what he has to say. I know he's not shy to go on video, and he puts up a lot of interesting, yeah, both videos and podcasts as well. So I think he's just your guy.
I love that. I'm going to reach out to him after this episode is out so I can link the episode and tell him Valdo recommended you.
For sure, man. Feel
Uh,
free to do so.
and then
Yeah.
the last question from my end, without knowing who the next guest is, what is one piece of advice you would give them? And I will actually give the next guest that piece of advice.
That is a great question. Um, I would say, or it's more like a question. Are you following your heart right now? Are you listening to yourself as in terms of their well-being? I will I would ask them if they're good right now or if there's some improvements to be made. But like in for the most part, are you following your heart right now with what you're doing?
I love that.
So more of a question than an advice.
I love that. I will ask this question to the next guy.
Yes.
Thank you very much,
Amazing.
Valdo.
Thank you too, man. I
It
really
was a pleasure.
appreciate you.
It was a pleasure speaking with you. I deeply appreciate you. I'm super excited that you were my first guest. For
Yes.
everybody watching this, I will link down all the contact details of Valdo, his email, Gumroad, and X, and whatever you want me to link. So if you
Yes.
want to follow Valdo, he's an awesome guy doing great giveaways. Go down below and make sure to like and subscribe, guys.
Yeah, and
Go.
subscribe to Gasper as well. Help this guy like grow, and yeah, I'm sure you will come on to do a lot of great podcasts like this one. I feel like this was just like perfectly aligned, and it has been an absolute pleasure to come on here and speak my heart and to your audience. So again, thank you for having me as your first guest, and looking forward, maybe we can do one at some other point. Could be interesting.
I would love to, and we can compare then what happened in the meantime. Thank you very
For
much,
sure,
Bob.
man. Awesome. Thank you too, man. Much love.
Much love.